Break it on down like a hoop through in translation, bridge the gap, communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man, decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk, give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language, now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation, empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Welcome. What's that face, Dante? Welcome back, everybody. We are back. We had these holiday interruptions. We wanted y'all to enjoy Mother's Day and all this other stuff, Dante's birthday, and we just took off the necessary time. And we're coming back in at a really good time. So welcome back to Man Translation. I am Sky C, and this is Dante V, our resident relationship and communication strategist, where we talk about all things that bridge the communication gap between men and women. Because every single day when I hear somebody talk or argue or go back and forth, it is apparent that we do not understand each other. And so I want women to know that men think differently. They don't think like we think. You can't communicate with him the way you communicate with your girlfriends or your mama or your auntie or your granny. Men think differently. And one of the things I wanted to, as I was like really reading some stuff this week, I was looking at what jumped out at me was that understanding is a part of communication.
Yes.
And we don't have any understanding.
And comprehension.
We just want to be heard. We ain't trying to resolve nothing. We just want you to hear our side. That's not effective communication. So this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I wanted to make the announcement that I'm currently taking some classes in trauma, because I talk about trauma a lot. And as I go back and I look at shows and I kind of listen to things that we've covered, I'm like, man, I talk about trauma a lot because I've been delivered from so much trauma. Growing up, I had so much trauma in my life. And when I come here, that's what I really share. I share how I got over the traumas. And so I want to dedicate a program to my mother, to my late mother, who had a mental undiagnosed a few things, but she never went to the doctor. She never, as a coach, we never get help. We never go get help. We don't think we have to go to a therapist. We're just taught, you pray, give it to Jesus, and keep it stepping. So we need a more understanding. We first have to get the information, and then we have to get understanding, because with understanding, what I'm finding out, what I'm noticing is that when you don't have understanding, you don't act. A lot of times, and because I work with people in my business, a lot of times when I listen to them, the reason why they're not doing anything is because they don't have any understanding. They have a lot of knowledge, which is a lot of information, but they don't understand the information. If you don't understand the information, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, because you don't know what to do with the information you got, because you're overwhelmed with what you're trying to break it down, comprehend, understand it, so you can apply it.
Yeah. So I wanted to just really, focus on that as a culture of people. Your mental health is so important. I think we just kind of take it for granted. And I really want to talk about it because so many people are committing suicide. So many young people.
Yeah.
So many young people. But the thing is that, see, this is what also the subject we were going to talk about tonight was social media and the brain. I don't think y'all realize how social media affects your brain. But I wanted to really talk about it too, Dante, in the aspect of what was the model's name? Her name was Chrisley.
I told the one that jumped from the. It was two of them that committed suicide. Honestly,
And
actually.
it's just been and it's been another one after that. But what the aspect of it that I really want to point out is how when you looked at them on social media, they look perfectly fine.
Mhm.
I see this all the time. The people that seem like they're so outgoing and they're the life of the party and they're making everybody laugh, those normally are the saddest, most depressed people. I've been telling people this for a long time. They be like, no, no, no. I remember telling people that Whitney Houston had low self-esteem. They was like, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Whitney Houston has low self-esteem. It's certain cues and things and behavior things that people have that's in common. That's in common. And you recognize it. So after she passed and they interviewed her hairdresser said Whitney Houston had low self-esteem. She did. So a lot of times those are the people, I'm telling y'all, I have seen it over and over again. The person that's the life of the party want to make everybody laugh, always laughing, always smiling, always kiki kaka, always want to make everybody else laugh and smile. Most of the time, that's the person that's in the most pain. And social media makes it so that you can put on whatever face you want everybody to see.
Which is which isn't good. And I can honestly say, at one point in time, I was there. I was there a few times, not like recently, but years ago. Whereas though it's like on social media, you can be whatever or whoever to mask the fact that you're mentally going through something because no one's checking on you anyway.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm happy. Everything is fine. Everything is great, and oh, he's cool. He's one of the strong ones and check it. No, I was in a dark place, like dark.
And
Um,
that's how they mask it. I said the same thing about Will Smith. Your sister is my witness. I used to always say, I wonder how long it's going to take for us to see the real Will Smith, because nobody is happy all the time. Nobody is happy all the time. Nobody is up all the time. No, it's not realistic. That's not realistically how we are as people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is always that, and not only that, to put on that mask, to put that mask on and to have to make everybody smile all the time, that's hard work.
it's really hard work because you literally have to stay in that character all the
Mhm.
time. You're literally becoming someone you're not, and the moment you get a break, somebody else comes, and then you got to throw it back on, and you can be all disheveled and whatever. You're tired, especially when it comes to social media, because social media kind of it drags you in. Because although you're being someone that you're not, more people gravitate to it and they want to see more of that person on a
Mhm.
consistent basis. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I want a chance to just be me.
And you
Can't
never
be
get
you.
a chance to be yourself. Yep. That's
You
what I was
don't
going to
because it's
say.
like,
You never get a
because like, who
chance
the
to be
hell is this
yourself.
person? Like, we don't know who this person is. Who's the guy from last week that was making us laugh? Because that's what it comes down to. It's drama, laughs, and just made up stuff on
And I
social media.
believe, I believe that's the reason. I really do. I believe that's the reason why Whitney Houston is gone and Bobby Brown is still alive. Because Bobby Brown, no matter what was going on, he ain't never tried to be nobody else but Bobby. Whatever, he ain't never tried to hide it. He ain't never tried to sugarcoat it. He always was himself.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Whitney was being somebody that she wasn't. She had to put on a mask and put the face on, and that it kills you. It kills the true you. It kills the
Right.
real you. And that's why when we come on this show, we come on this show authentically as who we are. I don't come on
Mhm.
here putting on pretenses. I come on here exactly telling people the exact truth of whatever it is that's going on. You know what I mean? And so that's not the real thing in social media. Everybody get up, they put their makeup on, and they put on their best face. But people need to see what's real. People need to know how to deal with things. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of, when I did watch the Red Table Talk, with the mother came on and she was talking about, the daughter, and talking about how she had been suicidal. It's a lot of people that are suicidal, but nobody wants to talk about it. So how do you help people? Now, I quite frankly have never been suicidal. I've been homicidal, but not suicidal. So I can't really relate to the suicidal part. And when I started going to therapy, my therapist, she asked me, she said, have you ever been suicidal? And I said, no, I've been homicidal though, but I've never been suicidal, but I have been homicidal. It's true. I have wanted to kill people.
I know. Because we've talked about it, and it's
homicide means you kill people. Have I wanted to kill some people? Absolutely. I ain't gonna kill me, but I will kill you. But anyway, I was like, no. She just looked at me like, okay, I ain't never heard nobody say that. No, I'm not suicidal. But there are people that are suicidal. Who would have ever thought that Robin Williams was suicidal?
I kind of knew. A lot of people don't know, but he was one of my top 3 people that I looked up to.
Robin. I like his work.
It was Robin, Jim, and of course Deion Sanders. And it wasn't until later on I threw Eric Thomas in there, but he'd be yelling at you for just no reason. But no, I knew, because this whole philosophy on making people laugh was something that I adopted to. But no one was actually looking at him.
But I think that we have to become aware that mentally, because of experiences, negative experience, because of trauma and hurt, we're not functioning in our right mind. That's what it is that we need to understand. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that there are certain, after you reach the age of 25, you start to lose minerals and vitamins in your body. So a lot of the depression is also health related. It comes also from your diet. If we have the hormone, we have melatonin. The melatonin, it can be inhibited and interrupted by trauma. You can't sleep. You have insomnia. You don't know why you can't sleep. Your mind is racing. You can't fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Melatonin, you don't have any melatonin. That's why they sell melatonin, because it helps you to sleep. If you're sleeping with your phone on, melatonin is triggered in your body when it gets dark. It tells your body it's time to go to sleep. When the light comes on, it triggers your body to wake up. So if you're sleeping with your phone on and the TV on, you got the lights on, you need to really be in complete darkness, or you need to wear those little masks so that you can just tell your body to completely shut down so you can go to sleep. So a lot of it too is also hormonal. So we don't tie in our mental health with our diet. We don't tie it in with, exercise. We don't make those connections in our culture because we don't talk about mental health. We think if you go to the therapist, you're crazy. You're not crazy. It just means that you're talking to somebody that's objective. They don't know you. A lot of times you're so into the situation, you lose your objectivity. You need somebody that's on the outside that can see what you can't see, and give you a medical term for it so you can deal with it. Doesn't mean you're crazy. And so you need to give yourself permission to be in your right mind. You can't accomplish anything in life if you're not in your right mind. Some people can't control their emotions. We're going to talk about that too, because that's part of your mental health as well. Being emotional management. Emotional management is very important. That's a part of your mental health. That's a part of your emotional intelligence, being able to manage your emotions. Some people can't control their emotions. And why can't you control your emotions? Like what is missing? What is missing in your life that you just are overwhelmed, with anger? Why can't you control your thought life? And so, depression also has to do with the hormones, because you have dopamine, which is responsible for your motivation, your memory, and all of that. So a lot of times when we have trauma, it affects our nervous system. And our nerves is what sends signals up and down. We have the main nerve, which is the vagus nerve, that sends, the messages up and down to our brain and to our body. Well, if that's fried, you at work dealing with stuff at work, you come home, you're dealing with stuff at home, like you stressed out. So any little thing somebody say, you're not going to be in control of your emotions, because you're not understanding that all of this stuff, it all fits in together. Exercise, you releasing stress. Stress in your body, when your body is in prolonged stress, it releases cortisol in your body. So everything has to have a balance, not just your mental. It has to be your brain, your body. All parts of you have to be balanced. You stressed out at the job. I used to when I worked at housing. I had this one, it was several people. I felt like they was tag teaming against me most of the time. But I remember this one lady, she was getting a lot of people fired. And she came messing with me. I called my lawyer. I said, I need you to send her a cease and desist letter to her home, because she was trying to make it personal. She's going around telling everybody I was sleeping with my supervisor. Is you crazy? This man is married, number one. Number two, I'm at work. I don't play and do all that at the same place I work. So when you're a person is a manager and you're starting rumors, people have a tendency to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You messing with my livelihood, starting rumors. Okay, that's not substantiated. That's what a rumor is, not substantiated. Okay, it's about to be a homicide. You better keep your mouth off me. So I called my lawyer. I said, I need you to send her a cease and desist letter, because I'm not playing with this woman. I need my job. I had just bought a house. So she was terrified when she got the letter. She ran in there to my supervisor and he said, well, just take the letter to legal. She took the letter to legal. Legal said, you better leave her alone. That's what you better do. So people dealing with stress on their jobs, they dealing with stress in all these other different areas of their life, and after a while you function in that. I was a high functioning, stressed to the max, burnt out, just functioning in that stress.
I've been there too many times. No. Mm-hmm. Because while you sitting there stressed out, the people that's stressing you out are not worried about you. They're living their life. They're on vacation. They doing everything they can do, not thinking about you. Meanwhile, you at home, off the clock, stressed out about them, worried about going in tomorrow and the stuff you got to get into. I've been there too many times.
See, I don't let people play with me when it comes to my job, though, because I was a single mother, raising 3 children. So I don't have time for you to come to work and be telling lies on me. You don't know me. We've never even had a conversation. You're not just going to come to work lying, because people lose their job. People think that gossip is to be played with. Gossip is not to be played with. People come lying. Don't come lying. You know what I'm saying? Journey with Jay. We're not playing. I don't play like that when it comes to my job, my livelihood. I'm telling you, you're about to get caught in the parking lot. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. I'm telling you, there's so many people that lost their job over rumors, over gossip that's not substantiated. It's not facts. It's because I'm a single mother and I bought a house and a car. I got to be sleeping with my supervisor. I can't just be smart. I can't just be a good manager of my money. I got to be sleeping with my supervisor because I bought a house and a car. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
That's just jealousy talking. because they
Right.
can't do what you're doing, so they have to. Oh, well, she must be doing A, B, C, D with whomever. That's
And
how
a
that
lot of
works.
times, the people that's dishing it out can't take it. And I'm telling you, not to speak ill of the dead, because the last time we was on the show, I sent a little message to Kevin. Now Kevin gone. But let me tell you something. We are in a time. You got to watch who you talking about and watch what you're saying out your mouth, because most of the time, when that stuff come back, see, you reap more than you sow. Okay, when you plant any seed, I don't care what the seed is. When you put a seed in the ground, it don't just give you one apple or one orange or whatever you planted. Okay, you get a whole tree of apples. Well, it's the same thing. God, your words are spirit; they're seeds. And a lot of times, those people that be gossiping about you, starting rumors about you, you know what I'm saying? When it come back on them, they can't handle it. Now, by the time her turn came around, I didn't work there anymore. But they tell me, honey, she was screaming and howling and kicking. They had to drag her out the door. But you got all them people fired from their job. Now they firing you, and you begging and pleading and crying. Because most of the time, them people dish stuff out, but they can't take it. But you're affecting somebody's mental health. Everybody can't handle that. That's why you got so many people that kiss up on these jobs, because they scared they're going to lose their job. Because you around here make me lose my job, and guess what happened? Okay. So I got a cease and desist order against her. And she ain't mess with me no more. Suicide is not, to me, when I think about suicide is not just about the finality of killing yourself. Suicide is also a slow kill. When you slowly killing yourself, you slowly sabotaging your dreams. You slowly, you know what I'm saying, not acting and doing what you're supposed to do in your purpose and what you place on the planet to do. You know what I'm saying? Every time an opportunity presents itself, you do something to mess it up, because deep down you don't really feel like you deserve it. You're killing your life. You're killing your life while you're still alive. So it's, when you get to the place, like her mom said, this wasn't the first time she talked about suicide. This was just the first time she acted on it.
Right.
So I believe that people that are in that depressive state for too long, everybody get down, but the thing is not to stay down. Is everybody got something in their life that's good. Nobody's life is all bad. Nobody's. Things might not be going the way you think that they should go, or they may not be moving as fast as you think that they should move, but everybody has something good in their life. But you choosing to look at the bad. You can't stay there. If you just keep looking at the bad, you are going to be depressed. Anybody would be.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But like you said earlier, people who function in that high chaotic, that's all they see. That's all that they know. So when good things come along, they do question it. Do I really deserve this? Was this even meant for me? Or for me, my issue was when the good stuff came, okay, when's the bad stuff about to happen? When's this dark cloud about to come out of nowhere? Because at this point, it really is mental. What you look for is what you're going to see. So if you see negative, that's what you're going to get. You're not even going to worry about the positives that's there or the blessing that's actually there.
But see, it's also about, when they said, some people can't control their emotions, but you can. Because the awareness comes when, like for me, for example, growing up, I would journal. I started journaling as a teenager. So journaling for me, probably after maybe like 6 months of writing things down in my journal, I would go back and look and read, because journaling allows you to see your life objectively. It also allows you to see where you're growing and where you need work. Journaling is not just for women. Journaling is for anybody that you need to get out whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is that you're feeling. You need to write it down and look at it. and say, how do I feel? You can't control your emotions if you don't know what you're feeling. What are you feeling? You know, when I was just recently dealing with some trauma had came up as a result of just being on the road with these crazy people that drive down here in Houston, Texas. And I kept saying, like, I'm not an anxiety ridden type person, but I had a couple anxiety panic attacks. I was like, what in the world is this? Where in the world is this coming from? And what I found was that because I still have unresolved trauma in my life that causes you to either you're going to run, flight, you're going to freeze, be overwhelmed and paralyzed. You know, that's what anxiety is. That anxiety means that you're overwhelmed. You get overwhelmed and you just panic and be like, this is just too much. And I'm like, well, what's overwhelming me? Because I do have a lot that I do. And so, like, what I had to write this down and really examine where it was really coming from, where it stemmed from. I didn't just pass over it. I can't go through life panicking. I've never panicked in my life. I'm like the coolest person you ever want to meet. I was like, what's going on? My heart was beating all fast. I thought I was going to pass out and die. I'm like, what's going on here?
I remember.
And I had to get to the root of where this was coming from. And it was a trauma response. Because when you grow up in trauma, you're waiting for that other shoe to drop because something good is happening and you're so used to bad things happening to you. You're just waiting to see, okay, how long is this? You know, something is around the corner. You know, where's it coming from? When is it going to happen? You can't live your life that way in anticipation of bad.
Can't live like you're always going to be on edge. Always
going to be on edge.
You're going to go out seeking for it and you're going to find it. And you ain't going to like it.
And so I sat down and of course I prayed about it and I said, God, I can't go through life panicking. I can't be having no anxiety. I have to, I have to identify what this is. So I can't control an emotion that I'm not aware of. And so as I began to like look into the trauma, the resolved trauma, you go through. At first I thought you either go through one or the other, but then I saw you go through all three. So the flight is, and for many years, I moved around a lot. I was in flight, and then I went to, when I started the business, I had to deal with fears I didn't even know I had. I didn't even know I had these fears until I stepped out into the unknown of starting a business. And then all these fears start to try to come. And I'm like, well, what is this? And it was like, because you have functioned so high in a trauma state, you don't even stop to even realize that you're being affected. I got divorced and still had to be dealing with that stuff for 10 years after I was divorced. And it wasn't until I was going through some mail that it started to trigger. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was dealing with all of this stuff. And then I was like, man, no wonder my pastor was so concerned about me. Like everybody was so concerned about me. And I was dealing with it. I never even thought twice about it. It's been like over 10, 15, 20 years. I'm going through I've been down here 9 years. I'm purging, and as I'm purging my mail, I'm purging me. Because I'm coming I was like, oh my God. Lord, I was dealing with all of this stuff. I was dealing with stuff on my job, dealing with stuff in my personal life. I was dealing with stuff in every area of my life. And it was only the grace of God that I made it through. I ain't do drugs. I ain't kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? It was like, how in the world? You know, and it's still stuff. I never stopped to deal with the trauma of, yes, listen, been there. And I'm just now getting, like, just over the last couple of years, just really getting released to talk about a lot of things. Because as I'm going through things, I don't talk about it. I wait till I get healed first, and then I talk about it. So we gotta, if you gotta get a special journal to write it down, just get a notebook and just write it down. How am I feeling? How do I feel about this? Why do I feel this way? That's how you get control of your emotions. You got to first recognize it.
Yeah, the behavioral side of it all.
Yeah. I spent years just being frustrated. A lot of years just being frustrated. And it's like when you don't deal with that stuff, you are really not functioning you're really sick. You're really mentally ill. You are really mentally ill. Because it's blockages. She says, I'm learning the process while going through, and it's been such a good journey. It is good. It's very good. Thank you for saying that, Journey with Jay. That is so important. It is a very good journey. Because what happens is like, it's almost like you're on the journey to find yourself. And it's all of this stuff that's in the way. You know, it's all in the way. And it's holding, it's keeping you from coming face to face with you. And because that's really, whether you realize it or not, you're really on a journey of finding you. And then when you find yourself, you want to make sure that you don't never let that stuff pile back up again. And it is a learning process. It's a learning process. It's a growing process. And it's great. And what happens is if your confidence begins to be built because you're learning to know yourself, and then you're going to come to like yourself. It's going to build your self-esteem, because what's happening is you're going to not focus just on the bad stuff. You're going to start focusing on the good stuff about you. It's a lot of good things about you. A lot of good things about you. But you're only focusing on the bad things and the bad stuff that's happening to you. So it's a good journey.
That's how you view yourself.
It really is. Your mental health and being aware of yourself and raising up your emotional intelligence. You gotta write that stuff down. You just got to identify, what you feel. And sometimes at the end of the day, just reflect. Just go get you a nice little chair and create an atmosphere. Put your little candle on, some little jazz music, some little instrumental something, and take some deep breaths and say, and just look back over your day. And just be grateful for the fact that you made it through the day. That boy just killed up all them people for what? I don't believe that we ever finish healing. It's a continuous process. It is a continuous journey with Jay. Yes. It is absolutely a continuous process. It is. It is.
Because there's always something. There's always something that needs to either grow or mature or catch up to where you're supposed to be. It's always going to be something.
But you're getting better. That's the thing.
Right.
You're getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the best I've ever been. I'm the smartest that I've ever been. Like, girl, I'm like, one day I was like, girl, you is smart. You smart than a mother, girl. You smart.
You is smart.
You is smart, girl. You is intelligent. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just be realizing things about yourself. Like, girl, you smart, girl. You got it, go. You got it, girl. You got it.
Go give yourself a high five. Oh,
that's right, Tony. I agree. Absolutely. And the thing is that it's like that poem. Remember the poem from Achille and the Bee? It's like when you get free, and the more you get free, you give other people permission to be free. You give other people permission to be free. And that's what it is. You're becoming more free and more free and more free. And the thing is that I tell my clients is it don't have nothing to do with money. It don't have nothing to do with money. Nothing. It don't have nothing to do with money. When you can get free and you ain't got a dime in your pocket, you know you free. If you got to have money to be free, you ain't really free.
But it also tells you where a person's mindset is.
Yeah, you're not really free. If you need to have on Louis Vuitton and somebody's name on your back to identify you, you know what I'm saying? And because you don't really know who you are because you haven't taken the journey, then you still don't know who you are. You know what I mean? You still don't know who you are. And it's nothing wrong with wearing quality clothes. But you need to know who you are before you put somebody else's name on your bag, is what I'm saying. You didn't know who you are first before you get to wearing somebody else's identity. And that's what it is. We're on a journey to identity, and it starts with our mental health. It starts with our mental health. Because if not, we're slowly killing ourselves. We're slowly sabotaging and not living up to the level that we need to be living up to. You know, you need to be comfortable with yourself in any room that you step in, whether you have $1 or $1 million. It don't matter. Yes, and now more than ever, we need to take a hold of our mental health. Now more than ever.
Because every day something going on, something happening that's going.
Yep.
They just
complete peace and joy. See, and this is the thing: peace and joy don't have nothing to do with anything external. Peace is not the absence of noise. That's not peace. Peace is when you can be in the midst of chaos all around you, and you still have peace on the inside. Same thing with joy.
#unbothered.
#unbothered. Because it's emanating from on the inside of you, not anything external. And that's the place I think that when you get to a holistic place in your journey, in your healing process, that nothing external is going to disrupt what's going on internally, whether I have or don't have. You know what I'm saying? Because really, you want to be that grounded, especially if you're in business. You want to be that grounded before you step in that arena. Because let me tell you something, and I tell people this all the time, business is warfare. It is warfare. You cannot step on the battlefield of business not in your right mind. I need to be in my right mind because my mind is my thought factory. That's where my ideas are housed. My ideas are there. My ideas is my intangible assets. That's what makes me money. I can't afford for my mental not to be on point. I can't afford for I only got peace if I got money. If I ain't got no money, I ain't got no peace. Guess what? You ain't got no peace. If your peace is contingent upon anything external, you ain't got no peace.
And even then, no money, no problems.
The word of God says, the joy I give you, the world can't take it away. You ain't give it to me, so you can't take it from me. Now, when you get to that place, now you did some work. You've done some work. You've done some real work. See, I don't want to be at a certain level and conquer everything that's conquered me and then step into the arena and lose.
Because what all do you do it for?
Exactly. I want to conquer everything. And that's why we can't think in terms of win and lose. We got to think in terms of conquer. You got to conquer everything that's trying to conquer you. You have to conquer it. You can't just leave it there because it pops up at inopportune times. I was minding my own business and couldn't breathe. I'm like, what is this? No. Triggered by some crazy, because down here in Texas, they drive, you think this is the Indy 5000. You just be like, what is these people doing? And come to find out, since the pandemic, because you know why? People are releasing stress. Zzz. Like you have 1 inch in front of you. They like snakes. They get right in front of you. They come from behind you and get in front of you. It's like they want to die. And it's like, what is going on? And it transported me to the atmosphere that I grew up in. I grew up in the atmosphere of death and murder and killing. That I'm driving, and it literally triggered those same feelings that I felt growing up. Like any minute, these fools gonna have this whole thing. Everybody gonna be wrapped around a pole. And I said, no.
This is true.
I can't. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with it quick. I said, I can't do that. Just the level of people just want to die. Highway 45 is the death. They say it's the most dangerous road in the world, in America. 45. 45 is not to be played with.
Might be up there.
I don't play with 45. But you know what? It's crazy because I always say the way people drive is the way they think. Okay? If your thoughts are always racing through your mind, you can't never get no peace. Boom, you got to change lanes over here. Oh, it's a space over there. Oh, let me get over here. Oh, let me go over here. Let me run over here. Let me do this. Let me do that. That's how your mind think, the way you drive. How do I drive? I get in my lane and I stay in my lane. When it's time for me to change lanes, I change lanes about 3/4 of a mile before I'm getting ready to get off an exit. I don't just, when I see it open and get in over here. And the crazy part is that they zoom ahead of you and then have to keep braking. You're braking. Why? Because you're going too fast. Traffic has a flow. There's a pattern. There's a flow to the traffic. Okay? You can change lanes all you want to, but you're still not going anywhere. And you see this happen in people's lives all the time. They're busy. Running over here, running over there, going over here, doing this, running over here, going there, and they're not getting anything accomplished. Because you have not understood that there's a rhythm to life, but there's also a rhythm to your life. Find your rhythm. Find your rhythm. Get in your lane and get to your destination. And most of the time, you're going to see that person wrapped around the tree and you're just going to zoom, just drive right on by. Because it's only a matter of time that you're going to crash and burn at that rate.
Yeah, definitely going to crash and burn, especially if you're going how they be driving.
Yes.
Damn.
There's so many people battling with depression. Why? Because you're allowing social media. Social media has an effect on your brain. We talk about the dopamine all the time. And then the metaverse going to just fry your brain. Do you know that there is electricity flowing through your brain at all times? I don't think y'all realize how electrical you are. You are energy within yourself.
You get shot.
If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is grab your phone, you're addicted to social media. You need to purge that out your system. You need to purge that out your system. The first thing that the people I'm trying to think, what's the boy who I read his books? His name is Jim Quick. He talks about the brain and memory because I think he had some type of ailment when he was growing up. So he is like the leading foremost expert on brain. And he talks about that. He talks about detoxing from your devices because they're literally short-circuiting your brain. You should not be grabbing for your phone as soon as you wake up. That means you're addicted to social media. And you need that dopamine hit as soon as you wake up, just like a drug. You know what I'm saying? And for people to try to, have you seen the social media feed where the baby is like look like it's having a little tantrum, and then the mother hands the baby
calm down,
and it calms the baby. Brain fried baby. Now, can you imagine what it's doing to adults? And then you wonder why people are depressed. You're depressed because you're on social media looking at the highlights of somebody's life. What they talking about on social media, business credit. You don't just start a business and get business credit. First of all, business credit is no different than personal credit. Would you get personal credit if you couldn't pay the bill? You get business credit, you still got the bill is coming. And it burns me up because it's bad business. They just want to make a quick dollar, or you could get business credit. You have to really have a certain level of revenue. It's smart to have a certain level of revenue built in your business before you start, leveraging business credit. I don't have anything against business credit, but when you're a startup, you don't need business credit. You need funding. You need capital. See, they don't know how to build capital, okay? Because it takes a little bit more strategy, a little bit more know-how. They want to do everything on credit, okay? And it's just like anything else. If you have too much credit, you implode. You know what I'm saying? You implode. Business is cyclical. You're taking a risk. If you got everything, you got all this credit, but do you have any money coming in to pay those bills? So you need to be able to leverage. So therefore, when you first start out in business, you need funding. You need to build capital. And they want that, you want that business credit. And people fall for it because they don't know anything about business. And it's like they make them focus on, oh, you see me on this yacht. Oh, you see me on this. But the thing is that, but you look tired, boo. You look drugged. You look like somebody drugged you. You look like you're not getting no sleep at night. You're talking about how much money you got and how much money you can make, but you look tired. Why? Because you're working so hard to get sales, and you're working so hard to recruit people. Why? Because that mortgage is due, because that house ain't paid for, that car is leased, that's not paid for. You're doing a 179 exchange. Yeah, you might have a Range Rover, but you still gotta pay the bill. You still gotta pay the bill. Okay, that's great. You can write it off on your taxes. That's wonderful. We all know about that. But you still got to pay the bill.
Yep.
Okay. That's great. And all of this stuff affects people's mental health. I need to go. I need to make this much. And I need to get this. I got to hurry up. I got to hurry up and get this. And you just... You're driving yourself crazy.
And that's that person on the road, hopping from lane to lane, trying to get themselves done, burning themselves out in the process.
I remember when I first went to New York as an adult.
Oh, F that place.
Everybody was walking. I'm 5'2". I've been 5'2" since I was 13. And I'm still 5'2". And bless God, I ain't shrunk. Man. So I don't really walk that fast. They was walking 200 miles an hour. Just if one more person bumped into me, it's gonna be a whole situation up in Manhattan. They just was bumping me because I was walking slow and they was walking fast. Child, if I didn't fuss at every single person. Why? Because they're driven. Got to make that money. Why? Because your possessions possess you. You don't really own nothing. You don't own nothing. And then it's like they were zombies walking fast. Then at nighttime, they came alive. The daytime, they was just walking 200 miles an hour. All these people driven, chasing money, chasing material things. You ain't taking not an ink pen with you when you go. Not nothing.
Yeah, I'm cool on New York. They haven't. It ain't that serious. It never been that serious. It's a weird place. I said it. New York is weird.
And that's why people are depressed. They're looking at the material things that other people are accumulating, but they don't have a backstory. All you got is the highlights.
Yeah, because if you don't own it, it ain't yours.
Even if you do own it, you still got to pay taxes on it.
And you got to maintain it. You're absolutely right.
You do. And a lot of times it's harder to maintain it than it is to get it. It's easier to get it than to keep it.
Agreed.
That's why you need to take your time and build up your capital. That's why you go from a small business to a medium business to a large business. That's why before the pandemic, you couldn't get a loan from the SBA because they had to see that you had at least 2 years of revenue grossing $1 million, from $1 million to $10 million. So for every $1 million you make, you just chop off 30% of taxes. Just chop that right on off. Okay? Take another 20% for living expenses and all of that. You're not really a millionaire. In order for you to be a millionaire, you have to make at least $2.5 million just from the rip. Consistently. You got to make this year after year consistently before they will even loan you money. Do you loan people money that can't pay you back?
Nope.
No. And neither do banks. Banks are in the business of selling money. Why would I give you money and you can't pay me money back? Because you ain't got no money. You have not established your business yet. You're not established. So for every 500,000 that you make, for every million that you make, you really only making $250,000. You're only bringing really $250,000 home. That's why it takes 2.5 million to become just a poor man's millionaire. But now with inflation, that 2.5 is now 3 million.
What you mean, poor man's millionaire?
For nobody, yep, that's considered a poor man's millionaire. Because you have to consider taxes, you have to consider expenses, all the stuff that people don't talk about. It burns me up. These overnight pandemic businesses that done popped up, and those of us that's been in the trenches building our businesses, just started making money in the last couple of years, you know what I mean? Building a business first to get consistent income. And a lot of them, I told my daughter, I can audit your business within 5 minutes of just going on your website and on your page. And a lot of people, they told on themselves, said they was millionaire. You could be a millionaire on paper. Anybody could be a millionaire on paper. But are you liquid? And probably the answer is no. So I think PayPal or somebody, Facebook was giving out $10,000 or something. But the criteria that you had to meet, it was certain criteria that you had to meet. So the people came on, said they got the 10,000, was bragging about the $10,000 they got from the Facebook. So you just told on yourself. Last week, you was a millionaire. This week, you just got a $10,000 check from Facebook. In order for you to get the $10,000 check, you can't be a millionaire.
Nope.
You just told on yourself. So people, stop looking at these people on social media. They're not telling you the real story. Stop being depressed over stuff that you see people have that they done leased to do a video They make it look like they prosperous, but they really not. Wealth, prosperity, and riches don't start from the outside. It starts from the inside. You're the seed. You're already rich with ideas. You're already wealthy. Okay? But you're looking on the outside, looking at material things, what everybody else got, but you're not looking at what you already have. If you work from the inside out, money is a byproduct. It's an end result of something. If you do the same things that it takes to make it, if I give you the recipe to make a cake and you do the recipe, you're gonna have the cake. Well, it's the same thing with money. You already got the recipe, you already got the riches, you already got the wealth, you already got everything that it takes. You just don't know you got it. And you don't know how to put it together. Have you ever noticed that they already tell you what to do, but they don't never tell you how to do it?
How to do it.
It's a reason. They don't want you to know how to do it. They're gonna leave the fact that you need to, melt the butter before you pour it in for a smoother, richer taste. They're gonna leave a whole lot of stuff out. So we are battling depression. Our mental health is on the line because we're allowing all of this external stuff to have us stressed out and running around and chasing, and I need to get this and I need all of this material stuff that when you die, you can't take with you. No. Nope. And them the people that's killing themselves. Why is that? The people that's killing themselves is the people that got the money, the houses, the cars. Why is that? Them the people. Why? The people that look like they got everything. Them the ones jumping off of buildings.
Because they got everything and they have to deal with all of that. They got it. Now, again, the headache is maintaining it. Yeah, you got the billing, but that oil change is like $1,000. Nah. You've added more just because of the status. So that's why they're killing themselves, and then you led all these other people that are probably messaging you, asking you, well, now that I got it, now what do I do? How do I maintain? How do I keep? And now you got to have an answer for that. So let me lead you to, but let me not lead you through.
And plus, if you're not making, you got to make money at a certain rate. In order to maintain it, you got to make money at a certain rate. So, like, just like you said, do you know how much an oil change costs on a Mercedes? It ain't the same as a Kia. That's for sure.
No, it's not.
That's for sure.
No,
do you know how much a key to a Mercedes costs if you lose your key? It ain't the same as a Kia or a Ford. How much do a pair of tires cost on a Range Rover, on a Bentley, on a Rolls Royce? These are all, and see, this is another reason why, when I work for Department of Social Services, determining eligibility for programs dealing with billions of dollars, you don't realize what goes into handling large amounts of money. Handling large amounts of money is not the same as handling $100. Can you handle large amounts of money? Can you handle, you want to have all of these clients? Can you handle it? Do you have the capacity? Is anybody telling you to scale your business at a pace that you can handle? You don't come out the womb and, go from walking to adult. You grow slowly. You want to scale your business at a capacity that you can handle. And I know people that have went out the gate and then prayed and want all these clients and all these orders and they want to sell all of this stuff and then can't handle it. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the employees. Nobody tells them about taxes. Nobody tells them anything. All you see is people I got a Range Rover. I got a Bentley. I went on a trip. That's great. That's wonderful. But tell me I want to know the backstory. I want to know, how did you build the capacity? I want to see your business plan. And majority of them don't even have a business plan and don't even think you need one. I don't care how much money you say you make. If you're not doing business the correct way, I don't want to do business with you. I don't care how much money you got. If you don't care enough about your business to sit down and plan it out, you need to have a 1 year, a 3 year, a 5 year, and a 10-year plan for your business. Because if you go to the bank and ask for some money, guess what they're going to ask you for? For a business plan.
A plan. Uh-huh.
Do you know what a P&L statement is? You don't. They're not telling you how to do things. They just want you to buy what it is that they're selling. They're not even telling you how to sell. And so people are stressed out because of the highlights and the reels that they're seeing of people's lives. And even when they take them back, even when they take them in the back scenes of their life, that ain't real either. We're living in such a fake. Everything is so fake. And it's messing with our mental capacity, our mental assent. You need your mind. You need your brain. You need to get to a place in your life where you're thinking about your brain health. Don't you know your brain will shrink if you don't give it the proper nutrients? Your brain has to have nutrients. It has to have a certain amount of water. It has to have a certain amount of everything, because your brain is where your mind is housed. So we have to start thinking about holistically. So that's why I am taking these classes in trauma, because I talk about trauma. I've been through a lot of trauma, and I really want to dedicate it to my mother, because she never got any help. She never got any help. She never seeked out for any help. Nobody never even talked about it. We're going around with these undiagnosed problems, and we're wondering why things are not working. And we're stressed to the maximum of burnout. And it's serious. Now people taking guns and killing people. Like what like, come on. This is serious. Your mental is more than just lighting a candle. That's just a small part of it. It's about doing the work. Like he said, it's a learning process, going through. It's a good journey. It's a great journey. And then building that emotional intelligence is also, how do we understand and communicate with each other? Understanding is part of communication. We got to first understand ourselves. Mm-hmm. We want everybody to understand us, but we don't understand us.
Yeah, and when you start incorporating other people, you definitely got to throw patience in there too, because what?
Yeah, we gotta get to a place that mental health is more than just going shopping and buying clothes. It's even more than even taking a vacation. Mental health is really taking a deep dive within yourself. What makes you tick? Why do you do the things that you do? Why do you feel the way that you feel about what you feel about what you feel?
That's definitely a deep look in the mirror on that one.
It really is. And like I said, it's a progression. I went through the flight. I would move like every 3 years. And I remember my therapist, she said, "Why are you so restless? Why can't you be still?" I'm like, I don't know. I just like to move around. I didn't want to be still. Then I became a flight attendant. I was flying all around everywhere. Left my job, left everything, house, everything, all of it. Got rid of everything. Hopped on a plane and just was traipsing around America. And I remember in training class, the instructor was like, "Some of you are here for different reasons, and some of you are running from things." I just was like, "We're in flight attendant school. What ain't nobody running from that? We're trying to be flight attendants. What you talking about? What's running? What's running? Trauma. It's flight. Freeze, immobilize, paralyzed. You're paralyzed. Don't know what to do. You want to do 1,000 things, but don't know where to start. Don't know where to begin, and don't know why you scattered all over the place. You start out doing something, you get bored with that, and then you start something else and don't finish that, and then you go over here with something else and you ain't finished that. Something mental, something is not clicking, sticking. What is it? You should be able to finish whatever you start. Why you ain't finishing nothing? Or why are you procrastinating? Procrastination means you got bad habits, not necessarily means that you are lazy. Procrastination is a trauma response to something that happened to you that you're not dealing with. Your mental health. I was just praying just recently, and I just was like, God, I don't know what this block is, but we need to get it out the way or whatever. And I thought it was going to be one thing, ended up being something else. And it ended up being, I had hatred in my heart for somebody that I never repented of the hatred, and I never even thought about it anymore. It's the only person on the planet that I ever hated. And some of y'all that come on here all the time, you hear me talk about I threw hot water on my mother's boyfriend. I hated him. And when I prayed, that's what came up. Hatred. I had hatred. I had to repent, and I had to purge, and I had to cleanse myself from hatred. I had hatred for that man. And I never even dealt with it because I was a teenager at the time. I shouldn't have threw that water on that man. I should not have thrown that water on that man. Why it's true, Dante. Like, what is wrong? I threw that water on that man. I should not have thrown that water on that man. And it was so crazy because my sister and my brother was like, why you throw that water on that man? What's wrong with you? And I remember looking at them like, no, what's wrong with you? They was right. I shouldn't have thrown that water on that man.
I don't think it was the fact you threw the water on him. I think it was how it was done or how you described it. Like you did like an over the shoulder and then just kept doing what you was doing. Like it was.
But that's the thing. Like it was nothing. I had to repent of that just recently. Like I was a teenager when that happened. I was like, okay, God, out of all things you're going to show me is this man. Like I wasn't even saved then. How you going to hold that against me? And it's not even that. It's that we have this stuff on the inside of us that we don't even know we have. It's still there. And it is interfering. Things in our past lodged in our soul, interfering with our present while we are immobilized and frozen and can't move out past a certain point in our lives. We hit a ceiling and don't know why. Because we're not dealing with this stuff. And then, boom, you deal with it, move it out the way, and bam, go to another level. Boom. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it.
It's holding us back. We need somebody to talk to. People need to be able to call in and talk to people about what's going on, what's on their mind, and what they're feeling and what they're going through in a safe zone where they're not going to be judged, where somebody going to give them objectivity and give them the truth about the situation. Be like, sis. Yeah.
A lot of people can call in and just vent.
Yeah, she said we have to release to be set free. We do. I had to release that hatred. I had to release it. Because, see, the thing is that we always hear that forgiveness is for the other person, but we don't understand that the forgiveness sets you free.
Mm-hmm. Because you holding on to it. That's
you forgive and be set free. And it's all about being free. And it's important for you to be free before you make $1. It's important for you to deal with all of this stuff before you get to your place of purpose, before you get to your place of destiny. Because if you don't deal with this stuff now, it's going to destroy you later. And it's going to destroy you publicly. That's what happened to a lot of people. All their skeletons is falling all out the closet. All this stuff is happening. You just be like, man, because people keep quoting these same scriptures, but they never bother to get revelation. When the Bible talks about, I got to take y'all to church. When the Bible talks about the wealth of the wicked stored up for the righteous, they're not talking about the people in the world. They're talking about the people in the church. The people, the wicked people. Wicked means twisted. It's talking about the people in the church. So the people that you see today that's making money gonna be the broke people tomorrow. Watch what I tell you. The transfer is not gonna happen in the world. It's gonna happen in-house first. What we gonna get from the world is the bounty. Journey with Jay. What we get from the world is the bounty. The bounty, I want y'all to hear me. We get ready to close because we over. Business is warfare. It is warfare, whether y'all know it or not. That's why you keep hearing people say, you need a strategy. You need a strategy. Strategy is a warfare term. It's a military term. What we're going to get from the world is the bounty or the booty. The booty is what you get when you win the war. When you go in and you win, you take the spoils of the enemy. That's the bounty. That's the booty. They call it the booty. That's what you get. You get the spoils. The wealth is going to come in-house. The people that's online bragging about how much money they make and their cars they drive, that's who gonna lose their money. Because why? It's a disposition. It's called a dispossess. When somebody is in a position that they don't supposed to be in, the true owner comes to the house and say, "You're in my house. You got to go." It's a lot of people that's in positions that they're not supposed to be in. And it's your job to find out. It's your job. That's why you can't be lane changing in life. You cannot be lane changing. You got to have a sober mind. You got to get in your lane so you can dispossess and take your position and get what is rightfully yours. It is not till you get in position that you get to go and get the booty or the bounty or the spoils. So look at it this way. The people that's working, Donald Trump and Oprah and all of them, they working for you. We're going to go ahead and close this out now, Tay. So you need your mental health.
Throw that last explanation in there. All right. Something about booty got me all riled up. No, no, first things first, and this is coming from a mature aspect because a lot of people think that they're okay, they're fine, there's nothing to worry about. But first things first, you got to confront yourself about yourself so you can get to the root of what is wrong or why you did what you did. You have to ask yourself questions about your actions, not someone else's. Don't point the finger because at the end of the day, you're only in charge of you. Ask yourself the questions about your actions. Those are behavioral terms. Why did you do this? What triggered this? And how were you able to, do A, B, C, D? Ask yourself those questions too. Sometimes it is about the break, the mental break, the vacation. Take your time, literally, whether it's on your job or whatever the case may be. Take your vacation. You earn those hours. But also, while you take your vacation, get to learn you because you need that. At the end of the day, your mental health is detrimental to your livelihood. Because if you mentally ain't there, then physically you're not going to be there. And Lord knows what you're going to be doing out here in the streets. Mm-hmm. Social media. Yes, social media is addictive. But also with that being said, you have to know when to and when not to. Because if you indulge too deep, you get in too deep. Again, as my mother said, you'll be waking up, checking your social media before you brush your teeth. You'll be checking your social media to follow up on someone else's life. Meanwhile, yours is starting to go astray, if not already. So direct your attention to what's needed. It's nothing wrong with getting up a little bit earlier, giving yourself 30 minutes, an hour, just to get you together. Whether it's praying, breakfast, just getting you in order before you go out into the chaos that we call the world, or you go to work on a consistent basis. Yes, you got to know when to unplug and how to unplug, because at the end of the day, all that stuff is still going to be there, but your mental may not be. I'm not saying people going crazy, but your mental comes first, not the drama or the BS that's happening on social media or these reality TV shows, Love and Hip Hop, Housewives of whoever's county. That is it.
Like and share, guys. Like and share. And if you have children, hug and kiss your children. Tell them how much you love them on a daily basis, because your children are dealing with a lot too. People think children don't get stressed out, but they do. We will see you guys next Sunday. We'll be here next Sunday. We'll be here. Yes. My birthday is not till when's my birthday? June the 16th. So we got like about 4 more Sundays to come back on here before we're going to take a break again. So for my birthday, my birthday is like on a Wednesday, so we'll be on that Sunday. So I celebrate my birthday on the day. So
we'll put a question mark next to that, because I don't know about women like to celebrate for like the week, the month, and like the year. So we're gonna put a question mark on it.
I don't really do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that for like the whole month. I might like plan like 2 or 3 things out, but I don't really have a whole lot planned for my birthday this year. I am gonna go to a winery, and I'm going to get a wine named after me. So I'm going to do that. So I just want to do just things I've never done before. So I will be doing that. Even though I don't drink like that, but I still want a wine named after me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we'll be back. Like and share, hug and kiss your children, and we will see you guys next